Hi everyone, it's Ryan here from smartsportstrader.com, and in today's video I wanted to give you another pre-match trading example. So I did one of these a few months ago in the Chelsea versus Man City game in the Champions League final. I showed you how I made a £70 profit before the game had started, and I wanted to give you another example of a recent game between England and Andorra. In this game I managed to secure a profit of £400 before the game started. So in this video I really wanted to give you a walkthrough and a breakdown of how I came to the conclusion of why this was a good trade and why I thought the odds would move in. So yeah, hopefully you'll find this video interesting. Let's take a look. Alright, so you can see here the trade that I made was in the both teams to score market, and I backed both teams to score no at odds of 1.38 and 1.36. So England were priced almost 100% to win this game. They were 1.01, so they were pretty much 99% shots to beat Andorra. And when I saw the odds on Andorra to score a goal being no, they just seemed really high, and that's just from experience initially, but I'll also show you some other factors on why I thought this price was high. So I put some bets in at 1.38 as that was the price that was trading at that point, and you can see that I had £6,000 matched at 1.38 and 1.36. And you can also see that I put some lay bets down at 1.25, 1.23 as well, as I knew that I expected the price would move in on this. So the current odds were indicating that Andorra had a 27% chance of scoring against England, so that seemed really high just from seeing it and you know, watching international football for the last few years. So I wanted to go and have a look and check how Andorra have been doing when they've been playing teams away from home, and specifically how they've been faring against bigger nations and some of the better teams as well, as obviously England are one of the best sides in Europe and you know, one of the top sides in the world. So yeah, I went over onto Flash Score, and this is just an easy way to check away games and home games, and had a look, and you could see that Andorra weren't really registering many goals at all. And specifically when you look at how they've been doing away, they didn't score against Poland. You could see they only registered goals against Malta, Albania and Liechtenstein in the last 4 years. In the last 4 years they've only scored against 3 other teams, and when they've played teams similar to England like Portugal, that's a 7-0 loss, and obviously they couldn't score against Poland. And just knowing how Andorra set up as well, they're not a team that set up to attack. They were just a team that set up to sit back and try not to concede. So I couldn't really get my head around the odds. The both teams to score no odds being 1.36. I think the main reason for that kind of being too high was due to a few bookmakers making a mistake, which meant that there were the arbitrage bettors in the markets, which kind of kept the market kind of artificially higher than it should have been. So that was a good indication. So then I went and checked in the Portugal versus Andorra game. I wanted to check what both teams' score price was there. So if we look, you can see both teams score no price. It's about 1.25, that's the best you can get. Pinnacle had them at 1.15, which is really, really low. So that was a good indicator that the odds were currently wrong and that the odds would come in. So I did expect that both teams to score no price to come in to about 1.25 or below. So I also wanted to check the most recent game against Poland and see what the price was there as well. And again, you see it's really, really low. Pinnacle's 1.10, you see the highest was 1.12. So the odds on both teams to score no in the England-Andorra game just seemed really high, and then everything that I looked at suggested that they were going to come in and that this was going to be a really solid trade. So I was also trying to make this trade on Betfair, but I was also just looking at Betfair's traded volume as well, just to see if that gave me an indicator of where the odds would come in. So you can see they come in from about 1.45 with very little money, but you can see there's a massive amount matched at 1.29. So at the time there were a few bookmakers that were offering odds better than 1.29, so that was a good indication to me that the value bettors were really bringing this price, they were bringing this price down, whilst arbitrage bettors were pushing the price higher than it should have been. Okay, so we're back a few hours before the game started, and you can see I bought the odds at 1.37 and I sold them at an average of 1.28, and that's how we create this £400 profit, almost like the stock market. You're buying at a higher price and you're selling at a lower price. And I'll just reload the market to show you that it's not fake, that I've not, there's nothing dodgy going on. And this was just a really solid trade where the odds just seemed artificially high almost from the start. It seemed like bookmakers made a mistake, and then you know, you can capitalize on that by taking advantage of the fact that they're going to be people arbitrage betting and taking that price. So you can kind of use that for your own trading strategy. So hopefully you enjoyed that video and found it useful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Pre-match trading is a really good kind of strategy to have in your bag if you're looking to make money from the sports betting markets. It's not a blanket strategy. You shouldn't try and use it for every single game, as that would be very difficult. But you know, when you do get some experience, you can kind of spot the best opportunities where, you know, it's very low risk and very high reward, like that England versus Andorra trade. You know, there was very few scenarios where I could see the odds on that trade drifting, so it was really high percentage, which is why I staked quite a lot of money on it. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. Like I say, hopefully you learned something from it, and if you're looking to make money from Betfair trading, definitely take a look at pre-match trading. And if you've not watched the previous video I did on the Champions League versus Man City game, that also covers a slightly different way of looking at pre-match trading, where you're more looking at ranges and again trying to put yourself in the best position. So yeah, if you've not watched that video, I will link it somewhere around this video. But yeah, thank you for watching. Cheers.